Sorry, so Robert, so a monumental debacle of a handling of a scandal, and it's leading to some internal fracturing that's A, unnecessary, and B, very damaging given what's at stake in 2026.
Completely. And so and Trump just keeps doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. And he has handled it in such a way that now a majority of Americans will believe he's adversely mentioned in the Epstein files, no matter what the truth is. It won't matter what the truth is, because as long as these Epstein files stay hidden in any capacity, Americans now believe it's all Trump and Trump's allies and Trump's friends and Trump's colleagues and Trump's donors. Because of how badly this was handled from a PR perspective. And once he realized there were breaches in the dam, that people like Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman Mays, Congresswoman Boebert, and others were not going to sign off on its continued hiding, he should have just reversed course. Instead, he doubles down, triples down, quadruples down, and now he has first, decided to make Thomas Massie enemy number one, and now enemy number two is Marjorie Taylor Greene. What stands out about these two members is they have the broadest small donors base support of any member of Congress. These two members of Congress. He is attacking two of the most popular representatives of his own base. And I know people want to spin it 100 different ways. Oh, no, this is 4D chess, Barnes. This is super smart, Barnes. You're a moron. Find me the people that Ronald Reagan went after within his own party. Find me the people that Richard Nixon went after within his own party. Find me the people that Bill Clinton went after within his own party. Find me the people that Eisenhower went after within his own party. They don't exist because smart politicians don't do something this stupid. And he's doing it for the Epstein files, of all things. It makes him look like a corrupt, crooked oligarch who is a guardian of pedophiles. That's the new meme. GOP, guardian of pedophiles. This is a political disaster. Doubling and tripling down does not help. Whatever you think of the Epstein files, whatever you think of Trump, Massie, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, this is the dumbest handling of a scandal I have ever seen. Trump has created a scandal towards himself, and he keeps digging and digging and digging. And nobody around him smacks him in the face and say, for the love of God, stop. He'll dig himself, and then the people that are all the former DeSimps pretending that they were always MAGA, like Will Chamberlain, that total fake. Oh, I've always been MAGA. I'm original MAGA. The guy was such a DeSimp. He moved down to Florida to be a DeSimp. I mean, what a crock. And then I get people responding, hey, Barnes, I guess you were a DeSimp. Because they're so lazy and stupid that they can't even Google for like 5 seconds. So, I mean, it's embarrassing what is happening. This is a lose bargain for Trump. Lose, lose. And he keeps making dumber mistake after dumber mistake after dumber mistake. So, I mean, this is what Ro Khanna, Democratic congressman, is going around saying, hey, let's build bridges between the left and the right populist wings of the party. And Epstein is a classic example of why we have to take out our own elites, whether on the Democratic side or the Republican side. He's getting momentum for that because he's actually paying attention to what these voters want rather than being as stupid as Trump is.
I'm bringing this one up just to highlight that this is the Q mentality that we got during the election.
He's when he's at 30% in the polls and you lose the House and the Senate, they'll be still saying, he's 12 steps ahead, Barnes. He's got a super plan, Barnes.
They will literally say, then if and when, say, heaven forbid he gets impeached, it'll all come out during the trial. Then when they impeach him, they're gonna release all the documents. Then it's so stupid. Like, you can make gambits in chess. You can make sacrifices for strategic advantage. You don't just give up pawns for the sake of giving up pawns. And there's nothing that makes sense. Robert, okay, so first of all, I just looked up who are the representatives from the caucus populist Republicans who generally receive no AIPAC support. You got Matt Gaetz. This is from AI, but I know that two of them are right. You got Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Andy Biggs, allegedly, Paul Gosar, Chip Roy, Thomas Massie, Lauren Boebert, Bob Good, I don't even know what that is, Anna Paulina Luna, and Eli Crane. Some people are suggesting, or at least noticing, that Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who have been pretty consistent in their views over the time, also don't receive AIPAC, and they're drawing that conclusion. I don't draw that conclusion, but you make it very difficult to refute what they're saying when these are the two populist Republicans that the administration has declared one, and all of their sycophants on social media.
Correct. And he's dragged in Lauren Boebert, dragged in Congresswoman Luma to the Situation Room this week trying to coerce them to not support disclosure of the Epstein files. It's clear to me Trump believes, I don't understand how he believes this. I don't understand why he believes this. It's counter a lot of the evidence that I've seen. But it appears to me Trump believes he is negatively referenced in the Epstein files. I mean, and at this rate, that's what everyone's going to believe, even if it's totally not true.
Well, not just
how he is behaving.
Not just that it's not true. The disclosures this week. First of all, what was not the context, but these disclosures were not the exhibits that were unsealed in the bank cases. This was this came from the estate case. So what's amazing is Todd Blanche, being that blubbering moron that he is, went out and was bragging about how he never saw these files at the time he interviewed Marjorie, Ghislaine Maxwell. It's like, buddy, that's not an endorsement. So there are 3 sources of Epstein files, and there's even more. The 3 sources that are known are in the custody of the Justice Department, related to the federal investigation done in the Southern District of New York. There was a separate investigation done by the state and federal authorities combined in the Southern District of Florida. So that's within the custody and possession of the FBI and the Justice Department. The next level of files is in the U.S. Virgin Islands investigation and civil suit against the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, which produced voluminous records about his illegal activities there. And that led to later cases that were brought against JP Morgan and Chase related to the money laundering and other activities of those banks on behalf of Jeffrey Epstein. So you've got these, and then you have other civil suits. You have the civil suits against Ghislaine Maxwell. You have the civil suits against Jeffrey Epstein. You have the defamation suits that flew back and forth. So you've got this big pocket of civil litigation, 2 pockets of governmental litigation that were civil, and 2 pockets of criminal investigation. That's still not all the Epstein files. The Treasury Department, I have no doubt, has extensive and expansive Epstein files. Everything he did was a suspicious activity financially. There is literally no chance his name is not littered across the files at Scotty Besson's office. Mm-hmm. But it appears that no one in the Trump administration has even looked at these files by the implications of what Blanche admitted this week. The other place that has a whole bunch of Epstein files is the State Department, CIA, NSA, National Security Agency, and the Defense Department, because Epstein was all over the place connected to these people. And the idea, as is revealed in just the limited set of emails we saw this week from the estate case, the bank case, still, to my knowledge, those files still haven't come out yet. So the Democrats in Congress, well, the Oversight Committee that included Democrat, but it was a Republican Oversight Committee, subpoenaed a bunch of Epstein files, including from the bank case, including from the civil cases, including from the U.S. Virgin Islands. What the Democratic side did this past week was release some of the emails that they discovered in the U.S. Virgin Islands case. This was the emails that Blanche was bragging to the world he had never read and didn't know about. Which means the Bondi and Blanche and Bongino and Patel did no review of the Epstein files. They did no thorough review. That's how they came to ridiculous conclusions like, oh, he killed himself. We know it without doubt. That's how they came to ridiculous conclusions on the Crooks case, where they got exposed this week. Ridiculous conclusions on the January 6th pipe bomber case, where they got exposed this week. So, and then Trump's answer to this is what I think is, people interpreted it as a legitimate effort to investigate Democrats. It's not. So what Trump said, and I'll tell you why here in a second. Maybe Trump meant it, but by what Bondi did, there's no chance of it. So Trump says, okay, Democrats are making a big deal of the Epstein case. I want Democrats investigated because they're named. I think whatever Trump's intentions were, the way Bondi did it is also, it's going to do is use as a pretext to never disclose the Epstein files because there's a open criminal case concerning the Epstein files. How do I know that? Because of who she referred it to. Bondi's not handling the case herself, again, which got the Justice Department in trouble in the Comey and Tisch cases, by the way. She could have just personally signed off on it and muted any complaint. But she assigned it to the Southern District of New York, the sovereign District of New York, where deep cases against the deep state go to die, where the prosecutions are the cover-up, like the first round of the Epstein cases, like the P. Diddy case was. And not only that, she cites how wonderful the U.S. attorney is there. The U.S. attorney Trump appointed is from the big corporate Wall Street firm Sullivan and Cromwell.
Trump said he wants investigations into J.P. Morgan, Chase, and Reid Hoffman, the big LinkedIn guy who's got deep Democratic donor ties and deep Epstein, as in Epstein Island kind of ties. Here's the problem. Guess who Clayton represented at Sullivan and Cromwell? Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan, and Chase, meaning he can't investigate the case. Now, he could try to corruptly, but what he's got to do is DQ himself, which means it goes to the careerists at the Southern District of New York, who all hate Trump, by the way, who are all a bunch of partisan Democrats, by the way. So this is more incompetency from the pay-for-play Pam Bondi.
We're never going to get any movement on potentially investigating Pfizer, potentially having the government revive the Brooke Jackson Keatam case, and because it's fundamental, baked in. Pam Bondi knows what they did. She was their of counsel at the time, and there is ethically no way for her to prosecute them, and therefore legally it will never happen.
Exactly. And indeed, the head of the Civil Appellate Division, which is causing so many problems for MAGA across the board and MAHA across the board, the head of the Civil Appellate Division at the Justice Department, and the number two, Yakov Roth, both worked, he worked with Brett Shumate, the head of the Civil Appellate Division. This is the guy who is, in my opinion, lying to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals about the Trump administration position on vaccines in order to continue the COVID Pfizer vaccine fraud cover-up. The Trump thinks, I am MAGA and MAGA is me. No, Donald, you just read a poll and learned how to read it and repeat back to voters what they wanted. This hubris is just off the charts, and it's leading him right into harm's way. People pretending they actually put out a tweet this week saying it's the golden era economically. Well, we have record levels of delinquency in credit card debts, record levels of delinquency in student loan debt, record levels of delinquency in used car loan debt. We have huge problems in the economy. Grocery prices, the highest they have ever been. And he's out there saying, golden era, golden era. It's a joke. And that's how disconnected he is. And what he's doing is just lighting things on fire. You go after Massie, the libertarian part of your base, which you've already antagonized repeatedly for 6 months. And then you decide to double down by going after Marjorie Taylor Greene, the OG of MAGA? That's your genius political strategy? This is your brilliant wisdom for the Epstein files? It's a level of incompetency that it's almost impossible to imagine. But that's not it. This comes at the end of a week in which he was explaining to Laura Ingraham that we need more H-1B visas because Americans don't have any talent and can't do any work. And we need more Chinese student visas because we got to protect the Ivy League, everybody. This is embarrassing. He has become the Wall Street president, the globalist president, the establishment president, the elite president. He's become the person that the entire country elected him to oppose. And apparently nobody in the White House has the cojones to say anything about it. And Swampy Susie Wiles is busy whipping people. Hey, you better put out a tweet saying how wonderful I am, or you're going to be in trouble. And so, you even have cabinet members out there saying, oh, look, Swampy Susie is wonderful. She loves mama. It's a joke. It's pitiful. It's an embarrassing. And obviously, Steve Bannon was stupid enough. I told you his personnel choices are terrible. Some of the people he promotes, God bless him. God bless Steve. Brilliant architect of populism. Gone to prison for the president. But for the love of God, could you quit picking the Epsteins of the world to hang out with? Could you to get political advice for it? No wonder he doesn't want to talk about the Epstein files much. He was sitting there giving advice about how to appear on news media. He's got a big blind spot when it comes to understanding what people he should recommend and not.
Michael Wolff is a journalist.
Whoever convinced Trump that he is negatively implicating the Epstein files lied to him and tricked him. Get it out. Get the files out. Get them out. Just dump them. Yes, will it implicate the government of Israel? Yep. So what? They're busy trying to sabotage the ceasefire as we speak. Bibi Netanyahu is no ally. He's a problem for the American people. So don't go to. You've gone to enough lengths to protect Israel. No mas. Just dump it, get it out there, or this is going to cut you, and you're going to suffer death by 1,000 cuts over the next 6 months. And you shouldn't be burning bridges to the Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world, who is one of the only people to stand by him after 2020. And guess who he was out golfing with this week? Lindsey Graham, The guy who said to Trump on the Senate floor after when Trump needed him the most, Lindsey Graham was busy stabbing him right in the back. And that's who Trump is out there. Ooh, yes, Lindsey, being Lindsey's little bitch rather than be a real man, which he appears to be incapable of. And while he attacks one of the most loyal MAGA people in the country, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump should be embarrassed at himself and his bad conduct. And then you attack Thomas Massie in a nasty personal way. Trump, you're not in a position to lecture anybody about morality, for the love of God. This is disgraceful behavior and needs to be called out as such.
Well, let me see this here. If the chat is going too fast, even in Rumble Studio, I can't get my fat fingers on this one. Here, Barnes is 100% correct. I just hope that he hears and reverses course, because there's time and you can make amends. I'm sure Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene won't hold grudges because it's in nobody's political best interest to do it. But it's inexplicable to me.